Prehistoric cultures in the Indian subcontinent, a detailed analysis. Introduction to prehistoric cultures. Prehistory refers to the period of human history before the existence of written records. In the context of the Indian subcontinent, prehistory covers the period from the emergence of the earliest human beings to the advent of urban civilizations, such as the Indus Valley Civilization around 2500 BCE. The study of prehistoric cultures is crucial to understanding the evolution of human societies, the development of tools and technology, and the environmental adaptations of early humans. The prehistoric period in the Indian subcontinent is broadly divided into three major phases: the Paleolithic or Old Stone Age, the Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age, and the Neolithic or New Stone Age. These phases reflect the gradual advancements in human technology, subsistence patterns, and social organization. Prehistoric cultures are primarily studied through archaeological evidence, including tools, rock art, burial practices, and remnants of ancient settlements. Paleolithic period, 2.5 million years ago to 10,000 BCE. The Paleolithic period is the earliest and longest phase of human history, beginning with the emergence of the first stone tools and ending with the onset of the Holocene epoch around 10,000 BCE. The Paleolithic period in India can be divided into three sub-phases: Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic, and Upper Paleolithic. The Lower Paleolithic period, spanning from 2.5 million years ago to 100,000 BCE, is characterized by the use of large stone tools, primarily hand axes, cleavers, and choppers. These tools were used for hunting, cutting, and processing food. The Acheulean culture, associated with Homo erectus, is prominent during this period. Archaeological sites like the Soan Valley in present-day Pakistan, Atirampakkam in Tamil Nadu, and Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh have yielded important Lower Paleolithic artifacts. Homo erectus, an early hominid species, is believed to have inhabited the Indian subcontinent during this time. They were primarily hunter-gatherers who lived in small, nomadic groups. The Middle Paleolithic period, from 100,000 BCE to 40,000 BCE, is marked by a shift towards smaller and more refined tools, particularly the Levallois technique, which involved the production of flake tools. This period also saw the emergence of Homo sapiens, the ancestors of modern humans. Tools from this period include scrapers, borers, and points, which were used for a variety of tasks, such as skinning animals, cutting meat, and making wooden tools. The Narmada Valley in central India and the Belan Valley in Uttar Pradesh are significant Middle Paleolithic sites. Evidence of early human burials and rock art from this period suggests the development of symbolic thought and ritualistic behavior. The Upper Paleolithic period, spanning from 40,000 BCE to 10,000 BCE, is characterized by the proliferation of blade tools, microliths, small, sharp stone tools, and the use of bone and antler materials for making tools. This period also witnessed the appearance of the first known art forms, including cave paintings and engravings. Rock shelters such as Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh and Kurnool caves in Andhra Pradesh contain Upper Paleolithic art that depicts animals, human figures, and abstract symbols. These paintings provide valuable insights into the cognitive and cultural development of early humans. The end of the Upper Paleolithic period coincides with the retreat of the last ice age, leading to significant environmental changes and the emergence of new subsistence strategies. Sidadin. The Mesolithic period, spanning from 10,000 BCE to 6,000 BCE, represents a fascinating transitional phase between the Paleolithic and Neolithic periods. Often referred to as the Middle Stone Age, this era is marked by significant advancements. One of the key features of this period is the use of microliths, which are small stone tools. These microliths were frequently attached to wooden or bone handles to create composite tools. In addition to these technological innovations, the Mesolithic period in India is notable for the beginnings of domestication and the establishment of semi-permanent settlements. Technological innovations. The Mesolithic period witnessed the development of specialized tools such as arrowheads, fishing hooks, and grinding stones. These tools served a variety of purposes, including hunting, fishing, and food processing. The use of microliths allowed for greater precision and efficiency in tool making, which in turn led to improvements in hunting and gathering practices. Subsistence patterns. Mesolithic communities in India were primarily hunter-gatherers, but there is evidence of early experimentation with plant cultivation and animal domestication. Interestingly, the domestication of the dog is believed to have occurred during this period. The shift towards a more settled lifestyle is evident in the presence of semi-permanent campsites, such as those found at Bagor in Rajasthan and Langnaj in Gujarat. These sites contain evidence of food storage, hearths, and simple dwelling structures. Social organization. Mesolithic societies were organized into small, mobile groups that moved seasonally in search of food. However, the establishment of semi-permanent settlements suggests the beginnings of more complex social structures. The presence of burials at Mesolithic sites, such as those at Mahadaha in Uttar Pradesh, indicates the development of ritual practices and beliefs related to death and the afterlife. Rock art. Rock art from the Mesolithic period is found in several parts of India, particularly in central India. The rock shelters at Bhimbetka, which were continuously occupied from the Paleolithic to the Mesolithic period, contain numerous paintings that depict scenes of hunting, dancing, and social gatherings. The art of this period is more stylized and symbolic compared to the naturalistic depictions of the Upper Paleolithic. The use of red and white pigments, as well as geometric patterns, is common in Mesolithic rock art. Subsistence patterns. Chalcolithic communities continued to practice agriculture, with the cultivation of crops such as wheat, barley, rice, and pulses. Irrigation techniques such as canal and well irrigation were developed to support agricultural production in regions with limited rainfall. Animal husbandry remained an important component of the Chalcolithic economy, with cattle, sheep, goats, and pigs being domesticated for food, milk, and wool. Social organization. The Chalcolithic period witnessed the growth of larger and more complex settlements, such as those at Ahar in Rajasthan, Navdatoli in Madhya Pradesh, and Daimabad in Maharashtra. These settlements were often fortified with walls and contained evidence of planned urban layouts. Social stratification became more pronounced during this period, with evidence of wealth accumulation in the form of jewelry, copper tools, and elaborate burials. The presence of distinct craft specialization, such as the production of pottery, metalwork, and textiles, suggests the emergence of more complex economic and social systems in Chalcolithic communities. Chalcolithic cultures. Across the Indian subcontinent, several distinct Chalcolithic cultures emerged across the Indian subcontinent, each with its own regional characteristics, subsistence patterns, and technological innovations. Some of the prominent Chalcolithic cultures include Mpamu Avampun Ki Pukamban, Ikan. Aharbanas culture, located primarily in the Mewa region of Rajasthan, is known for its distinct black and red ware pottery, copper tools, and evidence of early urbanization. The Ahar settlement, located near Udaipur, shows evidence of planned streets, residential structures, and advanced water management systems, including wells and reservoirs. The economy was based on agriculture, animal husbandry, and trade with neighboring regions. Malwa culture, centered around the Malwa Plateau in Madhya Pradesh, is characterized by its distinctive painted pottery and use of copper tools. The site of Navdatoli on the banks of the Narmada River is one of the largest Chalcolithic settlements in India, with evidence of planned houses, granaries, and craft production. The economy was predominantly agricultural, with wheat, barley, and lentils being the main crops. The Neolithic period, or New Stone Age, marks the beginning of agriculture and the transition from a nomadic lifestyle to settled farming communities. This period is characterized by the domestication of plants and animals, the development of pottery, and the construction of permanent dwellings. The most significant development of the Neolithic period was the domestication of crops and animals. In the Indian subcontinent, the earliest evidence of agriculture comes from the site of Mehrgarh in present-day Pakistan, where wheat and barley were cultivated around 7000 BCE. Other important Neolithic sites include Burzahom in Kashmir, Chirand in Bihar, and Payampali in Tamil Nadu. These sites reveal evidence of mixed farming economies, with the cultivation of crops such as rice, millet, and pulses, as well as the domestication of cattle, sheep, and goats. The Neolithic period saw the development of polished stone tools such as axes and sickles, which were used for clearing land and harvesting crops. The invention of pottery allowed for the storage and cooking of food, which in turn facilitated the development of more complex food production systems. The use of grinding stones and querns for processing grain became widespread during this period. Social and cultural developments. The establishment of permanent settlements led to the development of more complex social structures. Neolithic communities were organized into clans or kinship groups, and there is evidence of early forms of social stratification based on wealth and status. The construction of megalithic monuments, such as burial mounds and stone circles, indicates the emergence of religious and ceremonial practices. These monuments are found in various parts of India, including the Deccan Plateau and the southern regions. The Neolithic period also witnessed the development of textile production, as evidenced by the discovery of spindle whorls and loom weights at several sites. The Chalcolithic period, or the Copper Age, marks the transition from the Neolithic to the Bronze Age. This period is characterized by the use of copper tools and weapons, along with continued advancements in agriculture, pottery, and social organization. Technological innovations. The use of copper tools and weapons along with stone tools is the defining feature of the Chalcolithic period. Copper was used for making axes, knives, and other tools, which were more durable and efficient than stone tools. The Chalcolithic period also saw the development of wheel-made pottery, which was more refined and varied in form compared to the handmade pottery of the Neolithic period. Painted pottery, such as the distinctive black and red ware, is a hallmark of Chalcolithic cultures. The Jorwe culture, located in the western Deccan region of Maharashtra, is known for its well-planned settlements, granaries, and distinctive pottery, including spouted vessels and storage jars. Daimabad, a major site of the Jorwe culture, has yielded evidence of large houses, public buildings, and copper artifacts, including the famous bronze sculpture of a chariot with oxen. The economy was based on agriculture, trade, and metallurgy. The Kayatha culture, located near the Chambal River in Madhya Pradesh, is one of the earliest Chalcolithic cultures in India. It is characterized by its use of copper tools, red and black pottery, and evidence of mixed farming practices. The settlement at Kayatha contains evidence of mud brick houses, pottery kilns, and granaries, indicating a relatively advanced level of urbanization and social organization. The Savalda culture, located in the Tapi Valley of Maharashtra, is known for its distinctive pottery styles and the use of copper tools. The economy of the Savalda culture was primarily based on agriculture, with a focus on millet cultivation and cattle rearing. The decline of the Chalcolithic cultures in the Indian subcontinent around 1000 BCE coincided with the rise of the Iron Age and the spread of Indo-Aryan cultures in the northern and central regions of India. Factors such as environmental changes, overexploitation of resources, and the increasing use of iron tools and weapons may have contributed to the decline of Chalcolithic societies. However, the legacy of Chalcolithic cultures, particularly in terms of technological innovations, urban planning, and social organization, had a lasting impact on subsequent civilizations in the Indian subcontinent. The megalithic period in the Indian subcontinent is defined by the construction of large stone structures, known as megaliths, which were used as burial sites, commemorative monuments, and markers of territorial boundaries. The megalithic cultures are primarily found in the southern and northeastern regions of India, including Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu, as well as in the Deccan Plateau and parts of central India. Megalithic burials are the most characteristic feature of this period. These burials often involved the construction of large stone chambers, cists, and dolmens, which were used to house the remains of the deceased, along with grave goods such as pottery, metal objects, and personal ornaments. The Vedic civilization emerged during the later part of the Bronze Age and continued into the Iron Age. It is primarily based on the Vedas, a collection of hymns and religious texts that reflect the beliefs and practices of the Indo-Aryans who settled in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. The period of Vedic civilization can be divided into two broad phases. The early Vedic period, from 1500 BCE to 1000 BCE, and the later Vedic period, from 1000 BCE to 600 BCE. The early Vedic period is associated with the migration of Indo-Aryan tribes into the Indian subcontinent and their settlement in the northwestern region, particularly in the Punjab and Haryana areas. The Rig Veda, the earliest of the Vedas, provides a glimpse into the life of these early settlers. The society of the early Vedic period was predominantly pastoral, with cattle rearing being the primary economic activity. Agriculture was also practiced, though on a smaller scale. The social structure was relatively simple, with the tribal chief or Rajan at the top, followed by warriors, priests, and common people. The religion of the early Vedic period revolved around nature worship, with deities representing natural forces such as the sun, Surya, fire, Agni, and the sky, Indra. Rituals and sacrifices, known as yajnas, were central to religious practice, and the priests or Brahmins played a key role in conducting these ceremonies. The later Vedic period saw the expansion of the Indo-Aryan settlements from the Punjab region into the Gangetic plains, leading to the establishment of larger and more complex societies. The later Vedic texts, such as the Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda, reflect the changing social, economic, and religious landscape of this period. Agriculture became the dominant economic activity during the later Vedic period, and the use of iron tools, such as plows and sickles, facilitated the clearing of forests and the cultivation of larger areas of land. This led to the growth of surplus production, which in turn supported the rise of larger settlements and more complex social hierarchies. The social structure of the later Vedic period became more stratified, with the emergence of the Varna system, which divided society into four main classes: Brahmins, or priests, Kshatriyas, or warriors, Vaishyas, or merchants and farmers, and Shudras, or laborers. This period also saw the rise of hereditary kingship and the consolidation of political power in the hands of ruling dynasties. The religious practices of the later Vedic period became more elaborate, with a greater emphasis on rituals and sacrifices. The priestly class, or Brahmins, gained more power and influence, and new philosophical concepts, such as karma and dharma, began to take shape. However, this period also saw the emergence of dissenting voices, leading to the rise of new religious movements. Some of the prominent megalithic burial sites in India include Brahmagiri in Karnataka, Adichanallur in Tamil Nadu, Nagarjuna Konda in Andhra Pradesh, and the Khasi and Garo hills of Meghalaya. These sites provide valuable insights into the funerary practices, social organization, and beliefs of megalithic communities. In addition to burial sites, megalithic cultures in India are also known for their construction of large stone monuments, such as menhirs, stone circles, and alignments. These monuments are often associated with ritualistic and ceremonial activities and may have served as territorial markers or symbols of social status. The megalithic site of Higher Benakal in Karnataka is one of the largest in South India, with over 400 dolmens and stone circles spread across a hilly landscape. The site of Nilaskal in the Western Ghats is another important megalithic site, featuring a large menhir and several dolmens. The megalithic period in India coincided with the early use of iron technology, particularly in the southern regions of the subcontinent. Iron tools and weapons, such as axes, swords, and plowshares, were used for agriculture, hunting, and warfare, leading to significant changes in subsistence patterns and social organization. The spread of iron technology allowed for more efficient land clearance and cultivation, which in turn supported the growth of larger and more complex settlements. The integration of iron technology into megalithic societies may have also contributed to the rise of regional kingdoms and chiefdoms during this period. Social and cultural developments. The presence of elaborate megalithic burials, along with the construction of monumental stone structures, suggests the emergence of hierarchical social structures in megalithic societies. The distribution of grave goods, such as metal weapons, pottery, and ornaments, indicates differences in wealth and status among individuals. Megalithic communities in India were also engaged in long-distance trade and exchange networks, as evidenced by the presence of foreign materials such as carnelian beads and iron objects in burial sites. These trade networks may have facilitated the spread of cultural practices and technological innovations across different regions. The Iron Age marks a significant turning point in the history of the Indian subcontinent, with the widespread use of iron tools and weapons leading to profound changes in agriculture, warfare, and social organization. The Iron Age is also associated with the emergence of early states and urban centers in the Ganga Valley, as well as the rise of the Vedic civilization in northern India. By the end of the later Vedic period, there was growing discontent with the rigid social hierarchy and the dominance of the priestly class. This dissatisfaction gave rise to new religious and philosophical movements that rejected the authority of the Vedas and offered alternative paths to spiritual liberation. Two of the most important religious movements that emerged during this time were Buddhism and Jainism. Both religions emphasized ethical conduct, non-violence, and the rejection of ritualistic practices. These movements attracted large followings, particularly among the lower classes and those who were dissatisfied with the Vedic tradition. The prehistoric cultures of the Indian subcontinent laid the foundation for the development of later Indian civilization. The technological advancements, social organization, and cultural practices of these early societies influenced the course of Indian history in several ways. The use of stone tools, metalwork, and agricultural techniques developed during the prehistoric period continued to evolve and were integral to the growth of subsequent civilizations, including the Indus Valley civilization and the Vedic civilization. The knowledge of metallurgy, particularly copper and iron, played a crucial role in shaping the economy and warfare of later periods. Many of the social structures and cultural practices that emerged during the prehistoric period, such as the organization of society into clans and kinship groups, the importance of ritual and religious practices, and the development of art and architecture, persisted in later Indian civilizations. The hierarchical social structure that began to take shape during the Chalcolithic and Vedic periods would eventually evolve into the caste system, which became a defining feature of Indian society. The religious ideas and practices of prehistoric cultures, particularly nature worship and the veneration of ancestors, can be seen in later Hindu practices. The construction of megalithic monuments and the emphasis on burial rituals may have influenced the development of sacred architecture and temple building traditions in India. The growth of large, complex settlements during the Chalcolithic and Iron Age periods laid the groundwork for the emergence of urban centers and early states in the Indian subcontinent. The development of agriculture and surplus production during these periods supported the rise of powerful kingdoms and the establishment of early urban civilizations, such as the Indus Valley civilization and the Mahajanapadas of the Vedic period. The rock art and symbolic representations created by prehistoric peoples provide valuable insights into the cognitive and cultural development of early humans. These artistic traditions influenced later Indian art, particularly in terms of symbolism, religious iconography, and the depiction of natural and mythological themes. The study of prehistoric cultures in the Indian subcontinent offers a fascinating glimpse into the early history of human societies in this region. From the earliest Paleolithic hunter-gatherers to the complex urban societies of the Iron Age, prehistoric cultures in India developed a wide range of technologies, subsistence strategies, and social structures that laid the foundation for later civilizations. While much of prehistoric history remains shrouded in mystery due to the lack of written records, the rich archaeological evidence uncovered across the Indian subcontinent provides valuable insights into the lives, beliefs, and achievements of early humans. The influence of these prehistoric cultures can still be seen in many aspects of Indian society, from religious practices and social structures to technological innovations and artistic traditions. Understanding the prehistoric cultures of the Indian subcontinent is crucial for anyone studying the history and culture of India, particularly for students preparing for competitive exams like the UPSC Civil Services examination. The knowledge gained from studying this period not only helps in understanding the roots of Indian civilization, but also highlights the resilience and adaptability of human societies in the face of changing environments and challenges. The introduction of iron technology allowed for more efficient agricultural practices, particularly in the fertile plains of the Ganga and Yamuna rivers. Iron plows, sickles, and hoes made it easier to clear forests, cultivate land, and produce surplus food, which supported the growth of larger settlements and more complex societies. The use of iron weapons, such as swords, spears, and arrows, also had a significant impact on warfare, leading to the rise of powerful kingdoms and the consolidation of political power. Several early Iron Age cultures emerged across the Indian subcontinent, each with its own regional characteristics and technological advancements. Some of the prominent Iron Age cultures include the painted grey ware culture, or PGW, which flourished in the upper Ganga Valley and the plains of northern India, is associated with the early Vedic period and the rise of the Mahajanapadas, or large kingdoms. The PGW culture is characterized by its distinctive painted pottery iron tools and evidence of early urbanization. The Northern Black Polished Ware culture, or NBPW, followed the painted grey ware culture in northern India. This period is associated with the later Vedic era and saw the rise of powerful kingdoms like Magadha and Kosala. The NBPW culture is particularly known for its fine black pottery and iron weapons. It also marked the growth of large urban centers such as Pataliputra, which we know today as Patna. In southern India, the Iron Age is closely associated with the megalithic cultures that continued to thrive during this time. Iron tools and weapons, along with the construction of megalithic monuments, played a central role in the social and economic organization of these communities. The Iron Age saw the emergence of more complex social hierarchies, with society being divided into various classes based on occupation, wealth, and political power. The use of iron technology facilitated the growth of agricultural surplus, which in turn supported the rise of powerful rulers and the expansion of territorial kingdoms. The spread of iron technology also contributed to the development of long-distance trade networks, connecting the Indian subcontinent with regions as far as Central Asia, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. The exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies played a key role in shaping the cultural and economic landscape of Iron Age India. The Iron Age is also associated with significant religious and cultural transformations. This period saw the emergence of the Vedic religion and the composition of Vedic texts, particularly the Rig Veda, which is one of the oldest religious texts in the world. These texts, composed during the early Iron Age, laid the foundation for the Vedic religion and the social and cultural norms that would dominate Indian society for centuries. Additionally, the Iron Age witnessed the rise of new religious and philosophical movements, such as Buddhism and Jainism, which emerged as reactions to the established Vedic traditions.